on that road, you know it's a long and winding road. Well, that's kind of the journey to get to eSSETS. It's been a long and winding road. So in the 80s and 90s, I ran a software company called Renfo. It was a good little software company. We did specialized software for heavy-duty truck dealerships and construction equipment dealerships. We did parts and service and all the accounting applications. It was a good little company. But one of the problems with the company was that I felt constrained by the size of our target market. In North America, there was only about, between 2,000 and 2,500 total dealerships that were in our target market. So I had a competitor that I'd run into at the trade show every year, and he kept asking me, you ready to sell? You ready to sell? So finally, in 1997, I said, okay. So I looked at that as a breakout opportunity, so I was then going to start a new business. So in 1998, I started a company called Focus Tech, which then morphed into another company called EdWeb. Focus Tech was network engineering services, IT services for local companies. EdWeb was a bad acronym for Entity Database with a Web Browser Interface. And our target market was, I couldn't stay out of the software business, so our target market was architectural, engineering, and construction firms for collaborative project management. And after spending all of my funds, and when I say all, I mean all, on that venture, we had to close down in 2001. So entrepreneurs learn those lessons sometimes. Then the decade after that was spent working for others before I finally wandered back into being an entrepreneur again. So the problem that eSSETS is solving, stuff, and you have to say it that way, you have to say stuff. Too much stuff, not the right stuff, too much information about stuff, not enough information about stuff, but it's all about stuff. That's the problem that we're addressing. And we're addressing it for these kind of organizations: colleges and universities, K through 12 schools, trade schools, clinics and hospitals, senior care communities, community service, nonprofits, government agencies. But in summary, it's a horizontal application, so it's any organization that has a significant investment in physical assets, facilities, buildings, and so on. So our market is the world. So this is not a US and Canada or North America market. This is a problem that we're going to try to help solve throughout the world. So we have a big, bold mission, and that's to become the world leader in easy-to-use applications for facilities and asset management. So we believe in the beauty of simplicity. We want to make our application as simple as learning to ride a bike. So if you're familiar with surfing the web, well, that's what I tell prospects, then you can learn to use our product. So it's all browser-based. It's a cloud-based application. So what is facilities and asset management? It's dealing with physical assets. It can be trucks, it can be vehicles, it can be heating and air conditioning equipment, plumbing, electrical equipment, IT equipment. So all of those things that businesses and organizations have that provide the back-end services or the infrastructure to deliver what they do. Our job is to make their life easier, to bring together the people, the subcontractors and vendors that help keep all of these things running. So we view our software as the adhesive that helps hold all of these pieces together. So what does it do? We're big on answering the who, what, when, where, why, and how much questions associated with those equipment and facilities. We help define work that needs to be done through what we call service requests. Some of you might have think of it as a help desk application, so that's a small part of it, but also in scheduling preventive and predictive maintenance to keep things from breaking in the first place. And we also go in great detail to describe those physical assets. So why would an organization want this? The 5 main reasons is to improve efficiency, improve reliability, improve quality, save time, and save money. While a lot of very large companies, especially large manufacturing companies, have had asset management software for many years, or computerized maintenance management systems for years. There is a whole plethora of small to medium-sized organizations that are still doing it with paper and pencil and Excel. So where big companies have had automated systems, these companies have managed to handle the back end with these kind of old tools. And companies have made big investments in automation, but it's usually on the front end of the business. It's investing in CRM systems, customer relationship management systems, or it's in billing or customer interface systems. We're on the back end of that and helping to manage those things that provide services to the front end of the business. As I mentioned, we are a cloud-based application. That's what's going to allow us to be a worldwide supplier. Is when we, quote, sell a new package, we really don't sell or license our software. People subscribe to our software. So getting started is as simple as going to our website, registering. We don't have to do any special provisioning. We don't have to ship them any software. They don't have to install any software on their machines. They just log in and they can get started. We started with a clean slate. We do have some competitors that offer web-enabled applications, but we started from the ground up making this a cloud-based application so it could be easily deployed throughout the internet. Example, OTC was one of our first customers. They have 5 campuses now. Their facilities and grounds department is comprised of about 15 people. And the 15 people are the main people that log into the application to create assignments and pick up assignments and keep track of what they have throughout those 5 campuses. But then they have requesters, people that want things, run into the hundreds. It could be staff, it could be students, whatever, that notice some issue at one of the campus that needs to be addressed. So we help keep track of those things. So we've been able to accomplish some things for them is to help keep the facilities open, keep them working, keep them safe and secure, and keep faculty and staff comfortable so they can learn. So in creating this enterprise, I was lucky enough to have a couple of great co-founders. One is a software engineer that worked for me in the early 90s at Renfo, and when he left to go to work for IBM, I did literally cry. Because he was so good, and you hate to lose those kind of resources. So he and I got hooked up again in late 2009. Fortunately, we were able to get together and come up with a plan to start eSSETS in 2010. A little bit later on, a colleague that worked at Duck Creek Technologies with me in Bolivar, who had been did her master's thesis in neural networks and had been a programmer, a project manager, a trainer, and a salesperson. So she covered a lot of bases. So when you're starting out a business, you need somebody that can wear a lot of hats, and she could wear a lot of hats. So flexibility was key in putting together the co-founder team. Fortunately, on the director's side, and this is, I think, a very important thing for people starting out, and a mistake I made in the business in 2001 is I didn't have a slate of directors like I have with this company. I have Doug Roller, who was the founder and CEO of Duck Creek Technologies in Bolivar that sold out a couple of years ago to Accenture. I had Charlie Daniels, that was one of the co-founders of HealthMedics, which was a healthcare software company. So with those guys on my board, we're able to take advantage of the knowledge and lessons that they've learned in 30 years of running computer software companies and put our heads together and make better decisions, I think. So with a market this large, as you might expect, there's lots of people chasing it. So it's not like virgin territory where we're going in and going to just take over the market. And we're the new kid on the block. But the advantages that we have, because of the way we designed the product, making it a cloud-based application from the beginning, we can keep our cost very low compared to our competitors. We can use the internet to become easy to find, easy to start, easy to pay for our services, and some of the secret sauce that I'm not going to go too deep into today is building it up as a collaborative network. So it's not just a siloed thing where one company has their facilities and assets. It will be a shared application where the contractors and vendors that provide services to them will become part of the network as well. So,
bravo.
Any questions?
Open up for questions. If you'll just wait for the mic and stand up when you ask a question. We can start anywhere. My first question is, how do you market this product effectively and acquire new clients?
Right now, it's primarily inbound marketing techniques. So it's all about using social media and producing lots of content on the web. So we'll come up in Google searches. So that's a nice thing about the competitive world is what's important is when somebody searches today, they've decided they need a product today, they're going to go out on Google and they're going to search. Now, we don't own all the keywords, but we own a few long-tail keywords that we get found with, primary one being cloud-based asset management.
Hi, I'm Vicki Hicks from the College of Business at Missouri State. Can you tell us a little bit about the lessons you learned the hard way and how you were able to apply those to this operation?
Lessons learned the hard way through failure, yes. You know, we did, back in the EdWeb days, we did some things right. We created a beautiful software package. I mean, it was nice to look at. It was nice functioning. It was really ahead of its time. What we failed to do in the planning stage is realize that it cost 4 or 5 times as much to take a product to market as it takes to build it. And we were so focused on building this cool product that we kind of left out that piece. So that's a nice thing about having our slate of directors this time to help advise us is that it's cool that you're building a cool product, but you got to figure out how to take it to market as well.
Well, can you tell us a little bit more about who your target market is and who out of the people that we know would be able to benefit from your product immediately?
That's the nice thing about this product. It truly is a horizontal product. So I'll give you some examples. We have a government ministry in New Zealand. We have a condo operator in Australia. We have a hospital in South Africa. We've got a Catholic retirement institution in Ontario. So an OTC in Springfield. We've got a software company in LA that's using it just to track IT assets. So the nice thing is we truly are a horizontal product. And if you've got a big investment in facilities and assets, then you're a prospect for us.
So is there like a benchmark on how many assets an institution would need? And then you just mentioned software IT, which to me comes out of the physical asset. So how does that combine?
Well, we do typically say physical assets, but people also use it to track software that they purchase as well. Anything that has a cost, then you can track back to when you purchase it, which is part of the tool that we provide. We can help track for you. So I'm not sure that there is a size. I mean, part of the way that we built it was we wanted to be able to go down to a single user and up to thousands. So it literally allows us to cover a broad spectrum. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any that are into the thousands of users per customer yet, but we're going to get there.
With your product being mainly for corporate or municipalities, what is your pricing structure? How does it actually work?
Simple formula, it's about $400 per year per user. So it's per user-based pricing. We've experimented with per location pricing, but we couldn't quite figure out how to do that. So we settled on the simple version of per user. So that's the short answer. There are some options. We have like a depreciation module that adds some to that. Yes, sir.
Yes, and I was a tax auditor going clear back to 1982, so I've seen every customer that you would like to get into. So, you know, everything from, you know, telecommunications companies to manufacturers and that kind of thing, see. So, but there are subtle differences in the needs of these organizations, such as, say, the county of Greene. You know, they keep track of their inventory and they have to track things like, you know, road maintenance and that kind of thing. While then companies in the private sector have also the taxation and depreciation and the those issues. So, You know, I mean, I don't know whether your software scales up or scales over between, say, a governmental entity and a private industry with the taxation issues.
You know, we try to stay out of accounting other than the accounting aspects of cost accounting for physical goods or for assets. And we do have an optional depreciation module. Right now it's just simple straight line depreciation, but we'll, you know, you set up an asset or you go back and recoup an asset, we'll calculate life-to-date depreciation and those kind of things. We haven't gone into the area of keeping a set of books for tax purposes and a set of books for financial reporting purposes.
I'd like to follow up on Devin's question with the target market. We're all in Springfield. Is there any specific Springfield clients, individuals, contacts that you're looking for, and how can we help in this area? Because this is where our networks are, and we'd like to, you know, be able to give you
absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see, if anyone wants to help us get MSU, that would be a good follow-on to OTC. I've taken a run at Drury, of course, but they had just before I contacted them had bought another product, and they're just not ready to change that quickly. But we have like a credit union in Iowa, for example, is one of our customers. So banking institutions have lots of facilities. If you have branch banks, that's a potential customer for us. Again, just about any entity, if you look at the business and they've got a preponderance of assets that they have to track, then we can help.
Question, this is a cloud-based application. Are you handling that data yourself in-house, or is that going to a third party out-of-house? And either way, how are you handling security as you're dealing with people's very sensitive, high-cost assets?
Sure. Our application itself, when we communicate between the browser and the server, is encrypted conversation using SSL. And we do work with a third-party hosting company called Rackspace, and they are awesome. These guys, our servers are housed in Chicago in a facility with like 25 backup generators and about 10 pipes to the internet. So over the past year, we've had over 99.5% uptime with that service provider, so we're thrilled with them. And we rely a lot on them for the security aspects of the facility and data. Then we add encryption layers, so anything that you, whenever you upload a document to our software, we encrypt it. Usernames are encrypted. So we're heavy into encryption to make sure that even if somebody got to the database, they couldn't identify who the assets belong to.
Right here. With the growing demand of mobile and having information at your fingertips, how are you guys handling that?
The nice thing about a browser application, and this is the way I explain it to prospects, is we'll run on any modern browser. And I use modern because older versions of Internet Explorer we don't support. But if you've got Chrome, Firefox, Safari, if you've got a PC, you've got a Mac, you've got an Android phone, you've got an iPhone or an iPad, we can run on all of those. We have a special app for Android devices so we could enable the camera. So if somebody's out doing an inspection, instead of writing out 3 paragraphs trying to describe what's wrong, they take a picture of it and attach that to the work order.
Very good. Now that's
So it sounded like you had a lot of different value propositions. You pretty much helped them do everything better. How do you quantify that to show a business that it was a good investment to $400 per user that they save each year?
Probably not as well as we should, Chad. Because we have worked with such a diverse group, it is hard to quantify some of those benefits. Now, usually you can come up with a logical return on investment, because if they are, right now, think of the guy going out with a clipboard and a piece of paper and a checklist doing an inspection right now. We replace that with an electronic checklist that they're answering it on their smartphone or their tablet. So that eliminates the step of bringing the paper back to the office and somebody inputting that data into the system. So that's a direct labor cost saving there.
So, Paul, I'm wondering, can you use this for like family offices or estates or trusts and for your own personal assets?
Sure.
Do you have anybody who's doing that currently?
Probably not, other than me.
Right, but for $400, I mean, that's a year, right? A guy can track his family's assets and his family office assets.
Sure, absolutely.
As you're looking at working with business clients primarily on this, or even non-for-profit clients, large non-for-profit clients, they're going to have already established procedures in place for this kind of stuff. How do you handle onboarding and the ramp up with these clients to get them to be able to handle your process and procedures correctly? Is there a team you have that does that, or do you just have kind of FAQs or self-service stuff?
Up until now, prospects or customers that have had data stored in spreadsheets, which seems to be the common thing, we've done the upload for them. So we take their spreadsheet and we usually spend several hours trying to clean it up because you wouldn't believe some of the junk that gets put in these spreadsheets. So after we go through a data cleansing process, we've done the upload for them. In our next release, we're providing an end user process where they can map the columns in the spreadsheet to our database. So make, model, serial number, date acquired, who you bought it from, all of those things are columns. You just say, map this column to this field. So that's coming in our next release.
How much of this is an ongoing implementation? Are you finished at OTC where you can kind of walk away from it? And how does that help you scale your company and then the number of employees that you're bringing on to handle that?
Sure, and obviously that's a big issue for us when we're trying to go worldwide, is how do we support all these people? Again, we're trying to use tools that you're familiar with on the web. We can use YouTube videos, for example, for training. So part of our strategy is developing a whole series of 3-minute videos. So you're on a particular page of the application, you're not quite sure what you're supposed to do, there'll be a little button you can click on to watch the video of what can I do with this page. So we're hoping to preempt a lot of support calls by providing those sort of resources. And in the footer of every page of our application, there's a little link that says help with this page that takes you currently to a text explanation.
Paul, I'm curious, maybe I should have asked this question at the beginning, but I'm curious what led you to this particular product. I mean, what was the genesis behind that?
Well, I had thought about this market back in my Renfo days in the 90s because we had a parts and service system. And I said, you know, this can't be that far away from what we were doing. We also had a full maintenance leasing for heavy-duty trucks. And so that was a lot of, and Clint, my technical partner, actually built that piece. So that was really asset management then, helping lessors of vehicles keep track of all of the costs associated with maintaining those vehicles because they were running those on a cost per mile basis and they had to manage it down to, you know, how much is the tires cost me per mile so I can price it right to my customer. So that experience, and again, wanting to break out of being just in the truck dealer market, been kind of playing with this market idea for a long time.
Can you tell us what your development architecture is, the tools you use, where you host the data? You know, is it Amazon and et cetera?
It's Rackspace is who we do the hosting with. It's a LAMP platform, so Linux, Apache, PHP, MySQL, and JavaScript on the client side. So it's all open source tools that we've used to build this, which we think will help in our later recruiting efforts, as we'll be able to find people that are familiar with those tools.
So for a business or organization that's here that would like to take a look at your application, what's the easiest way for them to see a demo or just see some screenshots?
Right now we do demos using GoToMeeting. So it's basically setting up a web conference. That's definitely on my bucket list to automate that a little bit more. So we've got some canned presentations. But right now it's custom presentations. And especially for bigger businesses, we spend a lot of time preparing for those demos because we'll go mine their website looking for pictures and stuff so that when we do the demo, we're showing them their data. And that usually resonates with people.
Paul, thanks for talking to the entrepreneurs here. As always, we wrap up with the same question. How can we as a community help you?
Prospects. That's the main thing, really. If you know of businesses that have lots of assets that they need to track, then please send them our way.
Will do. Thank you. right, so a couple quick announcements before we get to our next speaker. And as always, if you guys have anything that you believe that this entire community can benefit from, please let us know. We'd love to help spread the word about it. And sorry for if you guys went to our webpage the past day or so. Kaufman was making some changes at the corporate level, and so it was down. And if you noticed, as your way in, we have a new sponsor page, and that will be up by the end of the week as well. If you have any interest in sponsoring this or being part of the organization on any front, please let us know. Let's see. So tomorrow from 4 to 6, right here, MATA is meeting here, the Mid-America Technology Alliance. The real estate investor meeting is on the 19th at 6 p.m., and the guys are in here somewhere in the back. There's one, Chad, and there's the other guy right here. Say hey again. And also, I'd like to shout out to the Springfield creative gals. They had a workshop this past weekend. It was their first workshop on social media. Chris presented in the back, and that was a good success. And keep an eye out for them because they will have more workshops in the past, and we'll definitely let you guys know. And if we're ready, we'll jump to our next presenter, which is a good friend of mine and a good friend of 1 Million Cups as well. He's helped us out a lot from the very beginning. His name's Jeremy Bartley with OneCard.
All right. Can you guys hear me? He's configuring the computer real fast. You know, always when you have a software company and you're trying to do a demonstration, like the equipment normally doesn't work. I mean, it's always the way it happens. So my purpose today here is to challenge you, okay? We're a technology company. We're not about, I'm not going to sit here and pitch you our product. I'm going to show you a little bit what we do. But what I want to challenge you today is, how do you feel about technology, right? Because I can guarantee you in this room, there's probably, and I've already given this, actually a talk last week about this, but there's probably a lot of you who are afraid of technology. Matter of fact, I can tell you right now that in Springfield, Missouri, we're about 5 years behind on technology, if not 10. And some of you guys might be like 25, you know, they're saying. But we'll leave it at that. But really, I am alive. So my question to you is this. Are you still holding on to old technology? Now, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure some of you guys would totally rock a carrier pigeon, because I totally would. I mean, I want one someday. That'd be awesome. But I'm guaranteeing this, that you wouldn't trade this for that, would you? No. But in essence, it fulfills the same kind of purpose. It was communication. It delivered a message in a short time, but now it's instant, right? Now, I want to take this idea and really kind of challenge you with the thought of technology and where we're at today. How many of you guys use tires, right? Right? The idea of a wheel. The wheel is one of the oldest forms of technology that's ever been. Cavemen created the wheel and fire, right? Something like that. But look at the wheel of where it is, where it used to be. It used to be a stone, all the way, you know, Flintstones, right? You know, the pedal. Now we have nitrous-filled tires that are just, you know, awesome with tread. And you look at the idea of how technology and how innovation, what it's created for us to make our life easier and where it's brought us to. Okay? You can look at that in all forms of technology, because technology is not just this. It's the idea of making our life simpler. But I want to challenge you about something today that you're using, every single one of you are using. And that is, if I come on slide, are you holding on to a 500-year-old technology? And you know, here's the thing about that is, you are. Right now, I guarantee you, how many of you guys have business cards in this room? Right? Now, here's the funny part about this. We still use this, but this was created over 500 years ago, and it has not changed. We've added QR codes and some stuff like that, but the basic functionality of what this is, tires have changed more than business cards. Right? Think about that. The wheel has changed more than the business card. Yeah, we're still using it. Oh, we've got to have a business card. You've got to have it. And here's the part that really makes this interesting. Of the people in this room, let's say you give your business card, 88% of you will either lose or throw away that business card within 2 weeks. You have a 2% return on investment on your business card. So I'm challenging you today, why in the world are you using that? Actually, I'm going to take it a step further. Last year, 10 billion business cards were printed. And of that, 800 million were thrown away in the trash. Why? Because the question I have for you is this, right here. So what is OneCard? That's what I'm here to talk about, right? What is OneCard? It's disruptive. Because the idea of OneCard is this, is that this paper business card How do you put your social media on this, right? How do you interact with it? How are we connecting today? How are you managing videos? How many of you guys actually take the time to copy the information from this into your context? No one does it. Oh, you do? Okay, we got one of those. And just notice the gray here. I'm not picking on you too much. But the reality is, at time, we live in an instant society where technology is supposed to help us, not prevent us. And that's the idea of what OneCard's about. What I want to challenge you on today is not the idea of replacing this, but replacing the idea of how we connect in general. OneCard is not about replacing this. It's about challenging the way we connect in a room like this. So some of the things we'll be doing with OneCard, and I'll show you a demo in a second, but imagine if you could walk into a room like this. Now this is the next phase of some of the things we're going to do with OneCard. And you can automatically make yourself discoverable that your OneCard's visible to everybody in the room. Now I can scroll through and I can flip through this and say, you know what, I want to connect with Cody McCown, great guy. And I've never met him before, but he's in a meeting. So now I can connect with him. I can get his business card because it's available, it's public. Now I can message him and say, hey, when you're done talking to that person that's been taking too much of your time, because those networkers, right? They just, can you connect with me afterwards over here? And you can do that instantaneously. Let's take it a step further. What about guys tracking leads? Leads are important, right? That's a huge part. What if you can manage and create this network? I don't know, this thing, I guess we could say, we're going to try to take over LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn is really kind of archaic. How many guys use LinkedIn? How many actually like it? Yeah, very few people in here. It's archaic. It's not B2C, because one of the biggest problems with LinkedIn is the fact that it's not B2C. Your customers can give you a crap less about the business card, and they can give a crap less about getting on LinkedIn. And that's some of the things we're going to be doing with OneCard. We're going to change the way people connect and how they interact, because it has to happen instantaneously, and it has to have the right information. What OneCard does, it becomes a digital hub for everything you do in communication, because it's the one thing we don't have in life today, right? We have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, we have Twitter, we have our YouTube page, we have Vimeo, we have Skype, FaceTime, all that stuff like that. But what's the one thing we use in our life to connect all of it in one place so our customers connect with us? There's nothing. And that's what OneCard does. It's the connecting piece for everything we do digitally and communication. And that's what we're trying to change. Now, I'm going to show you the first phase that we actually have live as a product, and then I'm going to let you guys ask questions, because you guys, I hopefully haven't overwhelmed you too much, because I know I'm passionate and crazy and fast, and it just works that way. I can't help it. I'm not on caffeine either, or drugs. Everybody says that too as well. So anyways. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a quick demo on this. Pardon me as I plug in. If we were Apple, I'd already have like a cool remote and stuff like that. I'm an Apple fan if you guys haven't figured it out. So, all right. Can you see me?
Yes.
All right. So one of the cool things. Oh, how's I? Okay. I'm staying put. I'm not moving. I promise. So as you can see, my face right there in the middle of the app. Now imagine if your face could be on your. Okay. All right. I'm just going to keep it here. So imagine your face is on your customer's phone, right? Because one of the biggest things is that facial recognition. I've had people that didn't get OneCard in this market, they come back like a month or two later, and they're like, okay, I've got to get OneCard because I've seen your face over 50 billion times, and if my customer can see your face, I want that, right? So that's one of the cool features about it. But going further, we're actually diving into the OneCard. One of the things we did when we were creating the OneCard, this idea was created at Wendy's on a yellow napkin, not lying. Someday we're going to get Wendy's to do a commercial on us. I'm just promising you guys. Where small businesses start, Wendy's and a Frosty. It's a working title. It's a working title, okay? So the first page we come to is the actual primary page. Now, one of the things that's unique about when we were creating OneCard is that technology is really driving me crazy, is the fact that, Josh, why don't you drive for me real fast, is the fact that you can support multiple business cards. Because one of the things that happens, I'm an entrepreneur, I have like 3, 4 companies, something like that. And I don't want to carry 4 of these in my pocket. That just really sucks. But now I can add as many companies as I want on there, and everything's interactive. So if I tap that as it's tapping, it will actually immediately call or text. I can pull, if you have GPS on there, or if you have an address, it pulls up GPS. It has a welcome video so you can introduce yourself. So if no one's met you, but here's the big thing about community and connections and about building business relationships, not just here in Springfield anymore. It's about, I could be doing business with someone in Florida. How am I going to get them this, right? So OneCard, you can text it, you can email, and here's the greatest part. It works on all smartphones, tablets, and computers with no app required. You don't have to have our app to use it. It's cloud-based, which we love the cloud-based thing. It's awesome stuff. And so you can share it with anybody, anytime by text or email, and or QR code or social media. It's all built in. He's pulling up on the computer, okay. So one of the other things we did with it, so that's the contact page. I'm going to kind of walk through it. The next page is the social media page. One of the biggest things right now, how many guys know how many social medias are out there? Social networks. It's well over the 200s. I mean, we support the top 30 social networks with multiple profiles, which is nice. We also, here we go, there we go. So as you can see, also on that page, you can actually do full description, videos, commercials, all that right on your contact page. So let's go to social real fast. As you can see, we have a contact form, and as well as social media, we support as many profiles as you want. So if you have a business profile, personal profile, and just profile for your other people, I don't know, it's all right there. So the next one is we have the About section. One of the biggest things, okay, guys, if you're in marketing, if you're in business, it's about the story. It's about who you are. And one of the things this doesn't tell you, maybe you can have a little style. I have some people, I want a cool business card. Well, that's cool. But this can tell your story. What separates you from everyone else, right? And it puts it right at their fingertips so they can instantly connect with that. And that's valuable, guys. On top of that, you add that welcome video, and you're gonna walk away with more leads. The people I know that use this actively have increased their leads by 10, 15, 20%. Now, I'm not going to put that on the website because I don't want to get sued or anything like that. So, but we've seen dramatic results. So the last thing, and this is the part that really makes OneCard special, is we call it the digital brochure. And what the digital brochure is, it's the information center, is you can literally put pictures, pricing, all the little tidbits of stuff you would normally put in a brochure that people throw away as well, because they throw those away. And you can add a video. You can add links to your pricing. If you want to sell an item, there's multiple network marketing companies love this. I mean, because they can put their videos instead of sending DVDs, which is kind of archaic. They can put their video on there and automatically connect with them and send a lead out. There's a lot of different resources and uses for this. Now, here's the cool part. If you click on share, that's all you have to do. Is you hit share, and you can text it, you can email it, share it on Facebook, scan the QR code. Easy to share. Let's go ahead and go to save. Now, this can be saved in multiple ways. One of the things that's great about it, you saw the app icon, you can save. And what's cool about it, it's a web clip. And what happens is it automatically updates immediately. So if you change your information, how many guys have used these archaic cards, put a phone number on there, and your phone number changed like next week? Now if you get 1,000 more business cards. With this, you just update it, and now every person has your app. Their information is immediately updated. Immediately updated. Okay, I'm going to say that again, because that really, if you think about that, immediately updated. So, because here's the deal. If they have the wrong phone number, they can't call you. Just saying. Okay, so let's take it even a step further. The next way you can save it is you can actually save it as a V card right into your contacts. So it goes right into your contacts with a few clicks. It's right in so they can't lose it. And the one thing we do is we replace the website URL with your OneCard URL because you have your own personal. Mine's Jeremy, or OneCardMe at OneCardMe.com/Jeremy. There we go. I'm trying to give you my email address. And literally, you can just download it, and it has that, so you can automatically get to the newest version of your OneCard and download the newest V card if you have to, because it's the only thing we can't push is a V card. But we're working on creating technology for that as well. So that's a really quick overview. I know I've overwhelmed you, but this is what I want you guys to walk away with. Why are we using technology that was created 500 years ago? Everything we do in business is digital. Everything. How many guys, I mean, if you look at yourself and what you're doing in your company, you're switching everything to digital. Why are we still using these? Not to mention, it's a waste of paper. Come on, guys, save the trees. So, all right.
Ooh, Jerry, I'm still reeling. Tell us about your price structure. What's it cost to have one card?
It's really cheap. We have on corporate rates and we have regular rates. Our regular rate is $12 a month. We also have a free version, so everybody should walk out of here and get a free version. Everybody. It's free. It has the basic contact page. The full version you saw for texting and everything that includes with that is $12 a month or $120 a year. Corporate pricing, we basically work on that based on the size of the company. We have most of our pricing breaks don't start until 20, and then at 100, and then it goes from there. We can scale. So.
Speaking of scaling, how many users do you have right now, and when do you feel like you hit kind of critical mass where people really start engaging?
We just launched this in Springfield, and we are at about, 2 years ago? So we were at over 2,000 users, and we're in 16 countries. Now, the crazy part about this is we actually have launched another company on top of that, so we've been putting time towards it, but not kind of self-funding. We've done everything at this point. We've self-funded everything, and which means that we have money for marketing, so it's a slow growth process. And we know if we had more influx of cash, we could grow that a lot quicker. But without doing anything right now, just doing content marketing, just SEO stuff, we're growing at a clip about 150 to 200 users a month. It's escalated that, and then probably about 10 to 15 paid users a month. So it's growing without even doing anything. But here's the thing the thing that's why I'm challenging this morning. The reason why it's not growing, it's going to start growing. It's that bell curve when it comes to innovation and technology is the fact that people are still wrapping their head around that they even want a digital business card. I mean, I've gotten a call from a guy in New York one time. He's like, man, I just had this idea. It's like, man, a digital business card, that'd be so cool. And then I looked up, and there you were. I'm like, people's minds are switching that way. And we're really at the bottom of this. Because I don't know if you ever heard of the idea of blue ocean strategies or blue ocean marketing. And that's really what we've created. We're in a blue ocean right now. We've broken off, we've disrupted this technology, and we're at the base. This thing, by the time, especially as taking on LinkedIn, because think about this, LinkedIn has been around for 10 years with no competitors. What we plan on doing with this in the next phases, LinkedIn won't stand a chance. Because LinkedIn is still stuck in their box. And even when they try to innovate, they're not really innovating. They're just recreating a wheel that, okay, so Pulse, right, came out. Okay, how is that relevant? How is it any more relevant than Flipboard or Reddit? It's not. This is literally a game changer and an idea of how we actually connect.
Well, taking on LinkedIn is awesome. Kudos to you for that statement. Yeah. Hopefully you can back it up later. So, hey man, I'm just saying.
Wait. I just want to quote my favorite person real fast, Steve Jobs. Here's to the crazy ones. It takes crazy people like me to do something like that. I plan on turning this into a billion-dollar company, and people have said, don't say that, oh my gosh. You can say that if you want, but the reality, unless you can picture it and try to go after it, you'll never achieve it.
I agree. So let me ask you about one card, because I agree. You know, I'm a small business owner. I've printed out a lot of cards. I don't print out cards. I haven't for the past year and a half. I think it's just a waste of time. If someone really wants to get a hold of you, you'll get a hold of them, or you'll get their information outside. Well, it's a constant pain and struggle.
Exactly. That's what.
But my concern is the simplicity of your application, and is it simple enough for everybody in here to download it and then use it? I feel like that is critical to have mass.
Take me to my last slide.
And so, if I want everybody's one card, walk us through the user interface of downloading your app and then getting contact information of other people. Am I going to have a face for every person's one card on my phone? Because I don't want everybody's face on the back screen of my phone.
So there's two ways to look at it. Let's address the face part of it and then move on to the actual next evolution of this. First of all, real fast, if you want my one card, just do that, and you'll have it. And you can automatically click on the link and it'll pop up on your phone. So if you guys want to text that, and this short code is provided by Tara from Raw Marketing.
Raw Marketing.
Yeah, so anyways, so let's take the idea of pictures. Okay, not everybody's going to want to have an app, but the consumer, the thing is, as business people, yes, we walk around, we network, we get business cards. So yeah, you might have a lot. We are creating a virtual Rolodex. The next phase is a native app that has a virtual Rolodex, and that's where it allows us to connect and do that. That's where you can now manage your contacts. You can put notes on how you met the person. It's going to be almost like a basic CRM that we're going to create for managing your contacts, of having that all right there. You can put it in your contacts and doing that. So you won't have to have faces. But for the customer, they don't care. They might come in contact with maybe 3 of you, and if they have 3 faces on their phone, they're going to actually look at it as a convenience. So let's roll a case scenario with that. Okay? How many guys are in insurance? Because I'm assuming we probably have at least 1 or 2.
Come on, don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Okay, so
there they come.
How many guys, you're probably casual? Yeah. Okay, so someone gets in a wreck, right? I've been in a wreck, I freak out. Oh my gosh, what did I do? So you tell them before that, you get your one card on their phone, and you say, hey, if you ever have any issues, just click on this app, my face, just tap my face. I'm right there. No. And hit the info center, and I have a list now of everything you do when you get in an accident. And on top of that, all you have to do is click the one phone number and you can call me. They don't search their phone address book or anything. It's just right there. Tap the app and it has everything they need after they get in an accident. Do you think customers would like that? Yeah. And they do like it. We have a lot of insurance agents that use that. There's so many different case scenarios. So it comes down to user. But as far as a user interface, we've designed this. Our goal when we were designing the software, and as my CTO right here, we wanted to make this as simple so a person from the age of 15 to 60 or 70 can use this product. And if you notice, there's only 4 or 5 buttons. It's pretty obvious. If you've used a smartphone, you know how to use one card. It's that simple. As far as downloading it goes, we're making that simpler and simpler. Really, the only limitation we have is the technology itself of the smartphones. And as new technology comes out, we embrace it, we adapt it. Like on iOS, we added Passbook. So you can actually download it right into your Passbook immediately, just like that. So did that answer your question?
No.
Okay. All right, so you want me to actually physically show you?
No, I just kind of see it more at a rudimentary level. So I come into this, I don't have one card, right?
Yeah, you don't have to have it.
I don't want physical business cards because then I have to go back to my house and I have to upload it
Yeah.
either onto my phone or onto my computer, and that's an extra step, right?
Yeah.
So I want to meet these two guys, and
Okay.
I don't want their physical
So
business
do you
cards.
have
Walk us through that process.
Okay, so let's say you have a business card. You have a one card, right?
Okay.
Okay, so you want to meet these guys, okay? So you'd walk up and you'd say, I open my smartphone, I tap my own face, I'd hit share like I showed you, right? And I just ask, hey, what's your phone number?
Okay.
He'd tell me his phone number, he's not going to do that in public. I think that's smart. That really shows prudence right there. I'm going to say to him, because one of the things that OneCard does for security is we don't actually give access to the phone number to Devin, okay? And so I normally say, hey, what's your phone number? I don't have access to these. You'll have to actually text me back about what's your phone number. I send them a link and they have it. Now, all they have to do, as soon as they tap the link, right? It opens up to a page, which I don't know if we can demonstrate the page because it's cached. For the first-time users, we have a page that pops up and says, hey, welcome to Jeremy's OneCard. It has two arrows that says, save this contact to your information or share it. Pretty rudimentary. I mean, save and share. We have 6 buttons. That's it. Save and share. How many of you guys understand what the word save means? See, that's what we've designed, and that's how we've done this. We wanted to make this in such a way that anybody can use it. And everything that is complicated has a video tutorial, and it's all right there. Is that better? Yeah. Okay, I'll go with that one. Yeah.
That was basically my question. I know how to use that paper. I handed Mr. Bashir's a card a while ago, and he handed me one. I didn't understand how you use this thing.
Yeah, well, like I said, once you have one, you just push the share button and you send it. I mean, it's really that simple.
I
It's no different
my
than
iPhone out.
Do you use
and
Facebook?
talk with somebody.
Yeah.
And then I have to hit share to them. That's how we exchange business
Yeah,
cards.
you just share it over and you tap the link and it opens up.
I missed that.
Yeah, no worries. And here's the thing. Everybody in here is using Facebook. I would assume everybody's. The people that aren't 25 years behind, maybe you're not using Facebook, but most of the people are using Facebook in here. It's no different than sending a message. It's no different than making a post. You just follow the instructions. It's all there. And we are working to make it simpler and simpler. And the native app side of things that we're coming out with, so one of the things, too, we're working on, so on the B2C side of things, right? Because that's a huge play. We're actually working on creating a directory that will have where you can actually, a native app that's going to have this directory. So now on there, you can follow businesses. So because one of the biggest things about Facebook is really convoluted and we really hate now is that Facebook is making it impossible to get your business word out. People don't want their business in their feed because they're thinking, I'm connecting with my friends and wanting to look at pictures. I don't care about a business. And Facebook's making us pay out the yin-yang to get seen on Facebook, right? So our idea with this is creating this directory where people know they're going there for the information. They can download this. They can favorite their businesses. Now we can send them push notifications. So as a business that you have OneCard, now you can say, hey, we're having a special on Tuesday, and push it out. Now it goes out to the native app. And we can do location-based stuff. So they walk by your store, it's automatically going to pop up here in the future, hey, would you like 50% off? That's all the stuff we're working on the B2C side, and also reviews. So we're going to probably tie Yelp into it and create this environment where the customer is conditioned and getting what they want. Because ultimately, what do customers really want? They want coupons. They want information quickly at their fingertips, and they want to be able to contact you and know your store hours. We're going to make that simple on both sides, from a native app and also from the desktop perspective.
Hi. So I have a company called Bodacious Cases. My mom has
Yes,
two.
I've been wanting to meet you for a while.
Yeah, okay, well, good. My brother has one. My sister has one. So always I want to have a lot of business cards, and obviously I'm not going to carry those around. So I like the fact that you can save it to your contacts. But what I don't like about just regular contacts is, like, if my brother changes an email address or phone number, I have to update it and make sure of that. Do you have a way of, once you have it saved and say I change my phone number and my email address, it will notify the people who have saved it in the past?
So 2 things about that. So the actual in your contacts part of it, we can't touch it. It's a proprietary open source thing. Now, we are working on challenging that. That's one of the things that we want to challenge and promote the next version of vCard and actually be a pioneer in that. That's because our head, see, we're pioneers. We're not just, oh, let's use what they have. We want to invent the next vCard and become a standard for that. But in the meantime, the native app, one of the things it's going to allow us to do is, if you have the contacts, let's say you've saved it, now when someone changes their contact information, you're going to get a notification, hey, their phone number's updated. And then you click a button and it automatically updates your contacts. That's coming in the next phase. See, and what I want you guys to understand today is what OneCard, I've showed you the basics of what OneCard is, the vision of where OneCard's going, and some of the things I've talked to you about. I want you to understand, because as a technology company, we have been asked so many times to move to Silicon Valley or Austin or Kansas City or St. Louis because honestly, we probably would be growing a lot faster if we would have, and we probably would have already got money. But we believe in our city. And I want you guys to see the vision of what we're trying to accomplish, because if you guys believe in us and you support us, we could create a lot of jobs. Right now, you look at LinkedIn, they have, I think it's like over 5,000 or 6,000 people working for them. If we even get 10% of the market share, we could create a couple thousand jobs in Springfield, Missouri. And the thing about that, let's look at this from the economic standpoint, okay, guys? Let's really look at this. Our factory jobs are leaving, and they will leave eventually. Technology jobs are the future. In the last 10 years, in our growth of economic development, I think it's something like 80% of them have been because of technology companies like ours. And for you guys to support us and help us in that vision, because we have a good idea. I think we have a kick butt idea. I'll leave it at that. But with us growing and doing this, we have the potential of creating jobs that are going to last, call center jobs, so you can have people out of high school, training, sales, that side of things. But we also have innovative. When we bring developers, you know, the average median salary of developers between 50 and 100,000 in this market, maybe 125 if you're a good company. They have a lot of disposable income. They eat at restaurants, they buy stuff, and that's stuff that gets back right into our company. And the great thing about this, if we become a billion-dollar company, we're in 16 countries without even trying. Not even trying. We try and go after the global market. Now we're bringing money in from China. We're bringing money, well, they copy stuff, so not China. Let's go with Australia. We have a lot of people from Australia, or Sweden. Actually, Sweden's pretty good. We've had a lot of people from Sweden. Now we're bringing money in from Sweden to Springfield, Missouri, and creating jobs. And that's what we're really about. We're about the overall impact and creating a company that's amazing to work for.
Tell me about opportunities that you have in your organization. Coming up, gaps in the organization, how the community can assist.
Are you asking me like what the community?
Are you hiring developers? Or are you hiring salespeople?
We've branched off and we've created a company called Think Digital, and it is a custom development software. We do the heavy. We're the only company. Well, I shouldn't say only company. There's one company in here that's awesome. We're kind of friends with that does this stuff. But we do app development. We're still getting to know each other, right? We just moved to the e-factory, and they're awesome people. I've had great conversation with them. But we've created this company that we basically do awesome website stuff. But we do integration. We work for software companies. One of the things that we're doing right now is we've actually stolen jobs from India, or actually it was Pakistan. They were shipping it over, and we're like, hey, look, we can do it for a competitive price, because we found that if we don't work for the actual customers, it saves us time, so we can do it for a more affordable cost. And now we brought jobs. We've already created one job because of that, just by bringing that. So we're working on becoming that part, but we're also a technology company. We know what's going on. Google Glass, near-field communication. We are experimenting with low-yield Bluetooth. These are things that we are able to bring to Springfield, Missouri and make you cutting edge with your business. So we do websites, app development, and we work with companies all the time with that. And so with that, we've already created one job. We are looking probably in the next month or two to hire, 2 or 3 people at the rate we're growing right now. So. And if you have any leads on that, that'd be great. I know it's a different. We're gonna actually present on Think Digital here later on, but yeah.
Yeah. Could you speak a little more about what I get with the paid version versus the free?
Yeah. So the free version is just the contact page. So really, and I say this very, very honestly, transparently, we had to come up with something. The free model is a huge thing. So we just our competitors were offering it, which our free model kicks their rear end, just saying. Our free model is better than their paid version.
Is it a trial period?
No, it's free indefinitely. It's basically a glorified V card, is what it really is. Okay. So the paid version gives you the social media, the bio, and the full info center. And probably the biggest thing is you get texting. We can't offer texting on the free version because it costs us 1 cent for every text. So it's a variable cost that we just, if we get 1 million people doing free users, it could add up real quick. And we don't have venture capital yet. Later on, we get venture capital, we'll look at doing that. But for right now, there's too many variables that could sink our company. So.
Hey, Jeremy.
Oh, I'm losing the mic.
This might be like for beginners and stuff, but it's one thing that I would think about if I was interested in this. Being cloud-based, how much space does it take up on your phone if you've got all of these like faces at the back end? Because I'm constantly having to delete stuff off my phone.
Goose egg.
Awesome.
Goose egg. 0. That's one reason we did it that way. Yes.
Appreciate your energy. You're like a fire hydrant. I think we're all going to need to towel off afterwards.
Good thing I'm not picturing you guys naked, because that would be really awkward.
Talking about money going forward and your vision for growth, you've explained that to us. What stumbling blocks are you encountering in getting that venture capital, and how close have you been to getting some investment that could take you to the next phase?
Well, thank you for teeing that off for me. I got to be careful with this question because I could get myself in trouble. Springfield, Missouri, part of the problem with it, and I say this because I know there's probably some investors in this room, you're too conservative. If I went into it in front of, I will say, a group of investors, and basically they said, we asked for a $3.5 million valuation, and basically said, we need more proof that we can't, we have this thing, we need actual physical, there's a deal we're working on right now with Staples to take this nationwide. We're still working on it. And like, once you get that, then we'll give you money. And my thought was, okay, once I get Staples, I'm gonna take that purchase order, go to a bank and get a 5% loan and not lose any equity. The part of investing is getting in the beginning when it's a risk. That's what investing is. Now, I understand that I'm saying something that's going to piss people off, but the reality is this. We cannot grow a tech culture, an entrepreneur community, until we have the money here to do it. We can't. Until people are willing to invest and believe in the people we have here, why should they stay? I have had several people. I have one of my good friends is about ready to leave to Seattle to go work for Google and just get his company. They're about to get bought out by Google, possibly. We can't stay here. And that's one of the things I want to change because I know the future of this community. We have an amazing community, but the money's tight. The other part of it, too, is people believing in technology companies because people in this room, how many of you guys are really reluctant about my technology right now? You're thinking, oh, digital business card. Yeah? But if I go somewhere else, okay, so for instance, like right now, I have this huge pocket in Maryland that's just buying the crap out of one cards, and they just think it's amazing. East Coast. California, I mean, you go to the coast, we're growing like crazy, even Colorado. And so there's hard parts about being in Springfield, but we believe in the community. You guys are amazing people, and I love being here. And I want to go anywhere. We have the best community, best place to raise our kids, and I'm going to fight through it because I understand that the reality of where we're going with this is bigger than me. It's bigger than making it easy on me. I'm willing to go through the tough stuff to be a part of this community because I believe in this community. And so, other tough things with it is the connections, the gatekeepers. We have some corporate companies here that are big that could utilize one card, but getting through that can be very tough. And getting to the gatekeepers, because gatekeepers are the hugest thing. I mean, right now, that is the part that getting this in front of the right people has been a challenge. So, okay, I probably teed it up too hard. I'm sorry if I went
it's
too
all
far.
right. We like the challenge, and we're going to grease up our investors. We're loosening up our wallets, and so we're paying attention. But as a community that is a little bit behind in the tech scene, we're sorry. What can we do for you to sum it up in a quick statement?
So I kind of already touched a little bit on it. So the first thing that you guys can do for us, accept our technology. Believe in us. Try it. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to get frustrated with it, but that's the whole thing about technology. If we're going to be a company or a community that accepts technology companies, you've got to try it, guys. At least a free version. There's literally no cost to you at all. Try it. Try to adapt. Try to use it and use it. Don't just, oh, I got a one card. Now it's not working for me. Well, you know what? I got paper business cards. If you don't hand them out, it doesn't do anything either. Right? So use it. And the other thing with that is believe in other. I don't want you just to believe in my company. Believe in other technology companies. Believe in these other apps that people are trying to have these dreams and these ideas because it's the future of our community. I promise you that. Second thing is this, is that the gatekeepers. In this room, I guarantee you at least 5 of you know some very important gatekeepers that could get us into the door to help us grow this and take it to a national level. Why aren't you helping us? Or I should say, please help us. That's probably nicer. The last thing is on the investor front. If you are an investor in this room, we love to talk. We're not a perfect company. We probably don't have the numbers you want. You're probably looking at us being like, oh my gosh, he's crazy. I don't even know if I want to be around him. But even if you don't give us a shot, start looking at these technology companies around here because if we're going to grow a community and create jobs, we're going to have to start believing and putting a little trust and invest some money. And some of you guys have some money you can lose.
Great, thank you.
So, I guess that's it. I guess I'm done.
Thanks, Jeremy. Thank you, Paul. For a guy who's 25 years behind, this has been really informative. But anyway, we've been really tech heavy today, and that's a good thing. But we're interested in all kinds of different companies out there. So if anyone in the audience knows someone who would get some benefit out of presenting, please ask them to go to our website, contact Devin, myself, Chad, and we'll try to get them scheduled. So again, thank you for coming. Thanks for your support.